Yesterday you learned how to find the vertex using the equation or the form y equals a x minus h squared plus k, and the form x equals negative b over 2a f of negative b over 2a. In this video, you're going to see how to do it using it graphically. So we're going to use the equation y equals negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 5. That's in standard form. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your calculator and go to stat plot, or y equals. You're going to plug in this equation. Negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 5, and graph it. There's our graph. There's three things you need to see on the window when you graph. You need to see, number one, where the graph crosses the y-axis, which we can see. It's right there. Don't necessarily know what it is, but you can see it. Number two, you need to know the zeros, or you need to see the zeros. On this graph, they're here and here. So that works. Then you also need to see where the vertex is. Well, on this graph, or on this screen, you cannot see the vertex. You can't see where it comes to a point. So you have to change the window. So let's change it so that the y goes up. So the y max is probably going to be, we'll just put 20 and see if we can see the top of that graph. Yes. Now we can see it. So now we're going to use, glare. We're going to do second, calculate, and we're going to find the vertex using the function maximum. Press enter. So it's going to ask you for a left bound and a right bound. So for this one, we can already see that we are left of the vertex. So push enter. It's asking for the right bound. So choose a point that is right, you know for sure is right of this bound. So let's choose 7. Enter. And you can see that it's definitely farther than this point on the right. Asks you to guess, hit enter, and it should give you a maximum. Now for this one, it shows 2.9999999 and y equals 13. But the thing is, the graph is getting closer and closer and closer and closer to that point, and it doesn't get it exact. If we were to solve this with algebra, how you did it in class, you would end up having y equals negative 2 x squared plus 6x minus 5. You complete the square. Oh, that'd be a negative sign. Sorry. Negative 6x. Take half of that, which would be 3. Square it, which is 9. So you just subtracted a negative 18 to this whole equation. So you add 18. So you have y equals negative 2 x minus 3 squared plus 13. So see here, if we solved it with algebra, what would our vertex be? It would be 3, 13. Right here, 3, 13. That would be our vertex. And if you look at the graph, it has the same thing, except your x is not exact. So you have to be careful when you solve it using the calculator. Make sure that it is an exact number, or if it's not, make sure you make it exact. Because solving it with algebra, you would have found it as 3, 13. So that's our answer. Let's do another problem where we solve it using the graph. So we have this equation, y equals 3x squared plus 4x minus 11. Go to your y equals and plug that in. 3x squared plus 4x minus 11. Hit graph. Well, check your window. We have a standard window. So we're going to check the graph. So there's three things we needed. We need to see where it crossed the y-axis. We can't see that, so we're going to need to change our window in order to see that. We need to see where it crossed the x-axis. We got our zeros. And we also need to see the vertex. Well, we can't see the vertex either, so we're going to go to our window, and we're going to change the y min. We're going to go negative 20. We're going to graph it and see if we can see our y, where it crosses the y-axis and the vertex. And yes, we can. Right there and right there. So we're good. So now, we're going to second calc, and you're going to calculate the minimum. Because for this graph, you have a valley, and so you're going to have a minimum in the valley. The other one we had a mountaintop, and so you had a maximum. You had the max amount. So left bound. Be careful here, because if you see, this cursor is now right of our point. So let's choose a point that we know will be left of our vertex. We're going to go with negative 5. Alright, perfect. This bound is way over here. It's to the left of our vertex. So and now it wants the right bound. Let's choose a spot way over here. Let's choose 2. There's our right bound. So now we know that it's going to choose the minimum value within these two bounds. Press enter. Alright, so we have x equals 0.66666 and y equals 12.33333. So, if you know, so our x equals 0.666 repeating, and y equals 12.3 repeating. Well, if you know, 0.6 repeating is actually 2/3, and 0.3 repeating is 1/3, so it's 12 and a third. So your vertex is going to be at the point x equals 2/3, negative 2/3, negative, x equals negative 2/3, y equals negative 12 and 1/3, which you can also check with algebra. So before, you were given an equation in this form and asked to find the vertex. Now, it's going to give you a vertex and a point, and it wants you to find this equation that will have this vertex and this point. So we already know that the vertex is this h and this k. So we're going to plug that in. You're going to have a y equals a times x minus our h, which is 5, square it, plus our k, 4. So that's our first step. Plug in the vertex. Next, you're going to plug in this point. Well, your point is your x and your y value. So you're going to have 7 as your y. 7 equals a times x, which is 3, minus 5, squared, plus 4. So now the only variable in this equation is this a, which is what we're trying to find. So let's solve for this a. 7 equals a, do what's in the parentheses. 3 minus 5, negative 2, squared, plus 4. And make sure that the negative 2 stays with the a. You're going to square it and it's going to become a 4. Make sure it sticks with the a. So 7 equals negative 2 squared is 4. 4a plus 4. Now combine like terms. So subtract a 4 from each side. 7 minus 4 is 3 equals 4a. Subtract or divide by 4. you're going to have 3 divided by 4 equals a. So now, if you want your equation for this, your vertex is always going to stay the same. So you're going to go to this equation, which already has your vertex plugged in, and you're going to plug in an a. So it's going to be y equals 3/4 times x minus 5 squared plus 4. And that's your answer. Alright, let's do the same type of problem. Let's create an equation with this as the vertex, but it also includes this point. So we're going to do y equals, we're going to plug our vertex into this. And it's better if you plug in the vertex first and get an equation, and then plug in the point. If you try to plug in the vertex and the point at the same time, it can get very confusing. So make sure you do y equals a times x minus h, which is 3, squared, plus k, which is 2. So that's our first step. Plug in the vertex. Next, plug in the point. You have 4 equals y, so 4 equals a. 9 plugs in for x. 9 minus 3 squared plus 2. So now you just have to solve for your a. So we're going to do 4 equals a. 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Plus 2. 4 equals 36a plus 2. Subtract 2 from both sides, so you get 2 equals 36a. Divide by 36. 2 over 36 equals a. So 1/18 equals a. Plug this back into the equation that had just the vertex plugged in. You're going to get y equals 1/18 times x minus 3 squared plus 2. And that's your answer.